They say truth is stranger than fiction, but in the case of Fidel Castro, that might be an understatement. Imagine being so dangerous, so feared, so untouchable, that the world's most powerful intelligence agency allegedly tried to kill you 638 times. Yes, you heard that right. According to declassified reports, the CIA may have attempted to assassinate Fidel Castro more than 600 times, using everything from exploding cigars to poison diving suits. But the real question is, why was the United States so obsessed with killing one man? And perhaps even more chilling, how did he survive all of it? This is not a spy movie. This is history. Born in 1926, Fidel Castro rose from a law student in Havana to a revolutionary leader who overthrew a U.S.-backed dictator. In 1959, he became the Prime Minister of Cuba and instantly turned the island into a communist state, just 90 miles from Florida. For the U.S. government, that was an unforgivable threat. During the Cold War, having a Soviet ally that close to American shores was unacceptable. And so began one of the most obsessive manhunts in modern history. But here's where it gets weird. These weren't your typical assassination plans. The CIA allegedly brainstormed ideas straight out of a comic book. One plan involved a seashell rigged with explosives, placed where Castro liked to scuba dive. Another? A poison pen disguised as a writing gift. There was even an attempt to sprinkle thallium salts into his shoes to make his beard fall out, thinking that his image was tied to his masculinity and charisma. One agent reportedly posed as a lover, hiding poison pills in her purse. When the moment came, she couldn't go through with it. Castro, aware of the plot, handed her the pistol and said, "You can't kill me." She dropped the gun. But here's the twist that still baffles intelligence experts to this day. None of these plans worked. Not a single one? Why? Some say Castro was lucky. Others say he had one of the most sophisticated counterintelligence teams in the world. But there's also a darker theory that many within the CIA did her. T actually want him dead because he was more useful alive. Every time Castro survived another attempt, his legend grew. Inside Cuba, he became El Comandante, the unbreakable leader. And outside, he became a symbol of defiance against American power. But let's pause for a moment and ask something deeper. Is 638 a real number or part of the myth Castro built around himself? Some historians argue the number is exaggerated, perhaps inflated by Cuban intelligence or Castro himself to feed his own mystique. After all, what sounds more powerful than saying the CIA tried to kill you hundreds of times and failed? Still, dozens of these plots are confirmed in official U.S. documents, especially those uncovered by the Church Committee in the 1970s, from botched poisonings to explosive devices and failed collaborations with the Mafia. Yes, the Mafia, the attempts were real. But beyond the methods, this raises a disturbing question. How far will a government go to silence a threat? And at what cost? The obsession with Castro wasn't just about politics. It was personal, strategic, psychological. For the CIA, failing to take him out became a decades-long humiliation. For Castro, surviving became his ultimate political weapon. By the 1980s, the U.S. quietly scaled back its plots. Castro ruled until 2008, stepping down due to health issues, but not because of bullets, bombs, or poisoned cigars. When he died in 2016 at the age of 90, he had outlived 11 U.S. presidents, and not one of them could stop him. So, was Castro the most unkillable man in modern history? Or was he just the best at using fear, intelligence, and legend to stay one step ahead? Either way, the story of Fidel Castro and the 638 assassination attempts remains one of the most bizarre, chilling, and unforgettable chapters in Cold War history. And it leaves us wondering how many of the world's most powerful enemies are brought down by violence, and how many by their own myths. But before we close this case, let's ask one final question. Why did he never fall? Was it because of loyalty, fear, control, or something more psychological, something deeper? Fidel Castro didn't just survive bullets. He survived narratives. He controlled the story. Every failed attempt became another brick in the wall of his myth. And myths are much harder to kill than men. There's something powerful in that idea. The most dangerous people in history weren't always the strongest. They were the ones who controlled what people believed about them. And that's why Castro's story is so unsettling. Because if one man can outlive hundreds of attempts on his life, deceive world powers, manipulate the press, and shape global politics for over half a century, what else is possible? What other leaders built their legacy on lies? What truths were buried with the people who couldn't be killed? At Deadly Archives, we don't just tell you what happened. We show you what they never wanted you to see. The real stories, the twisted truths, the questions no one dares to ask, because history isn't written by the victors. It's written by the survivors. And Fidel Castro, he was both. So if you're tired of the same old history lessons, if you want to go deeper, darker, and uncover what lies beneath the headlines, subscribe now. Join us as we unlock the archives one forbidden story at a time. Because the past isn't dead, it's still watching. And this was just the beginning. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Deadly Archives for more untold history, exposed lies, and the hidden truth behind the world's most powerful figures. See you in the next story. Until then, question everything.